A home without conflict isn't always a happy home. It might just be a dying one. In most houses, silence is often mistaken for peace. We were raised to believe that a good family is one that never fights, and a strong man is one who keeps his frustrations locked away, just to keep the water still. But is a quiet home truly a healthy one? Welcome back to the Unspoken Home. Today, we are breaking the stigma around one of the most misunderstood parts of life: conflict. Most people view an argument as a crack in the foundation, a sign that the relationship is failing. They see it as a battle to be won, or an unpleasant storm to be avoided at all costs. But the truth is, conflict is not the enemy. Indifference is. When we stop arguing, we often stop caring. Thus, the art of healthy conflict is not about learning how to shout louder. It is about learning how to speak so that you can finally hear. It is about learning how to listen so that your partner finally feels seen. It is a shift from me versus you to us versus the problem. As the leader of your home, your responsibility is not to eliminate friction. Your
When you
job
speak
is to
this
ensure
way,
that the heat of the
people
moment
tend to
burns
listen more
away the
closely.
misunderstandings,
It allows the
rather than
words
the
to
bridge
sink in.
between you. In this video, we will explore why we fear confrontation and how to turn a heated argument into a moment of profound breakthrough. Let's redefine what it means to disagree.
We need to
Because
adjust this section
sometimes
right here.
the only way to truly understand
Yes,
each
the
other
egress.
is to walk through the fire of a difficult conversation together. But how do we know if our conflict is building a bridge or burning it down? There is a very thin line between a healthy disagreement and a toxic attack. In most failed relationships, the problem isn't the argument itself. It is the weapon we choose to use. We often confuse expressing a need with attacking a character. When you say, "You never listen to me," you are not starting a conversation. You are issuing a verdict. You are putting your partner on the stand and acting as the judge and the jury. This is what we call criticism. It targets the person, not the behavior. And as a
The
leader,
defendant refuses
you must
to face
realize
justice.
that once your partner
But
feels
this
attacked,
empty chair
the
cannot
door
hide
to
the
their
truth
heart
of what he
locks
did.
from the inside. They are no longer listening to your words. They are preparing their defense. Healthy conflict, on the other hand, is surgery. It is painful, but its purpose is to heal. It focuses on I statements instead of you accusations. Instead of saying, "You are irresponsible," a leader says, "I feel overwhelmed when the household duties are not shared." Do you see the difference? One is a hammer intended to break. The other is a flashlight intended to show the way. To master the art of conflict, you must learn
When
to
you
stay
reach
on
my
topic.
age, you realize
Many of us have a
that
habit
time
of
is the most
kitchen
precious
sinking.
thing we have.
In the middle of an argument about finances, we bring up a mistake from 3 years ago. We bring up the way they spoke to our parents. We pile on every grievance until the original problem is buried under a mountain of resentment. This is not how we lead. The leader keeps the focus sharp. If the problem is the budget, stay on the budget. If the problem is intimacy, stay on intimacy. And do not use the past as a weapon to win a battle in the present. Winning an argument against your spouse is actually a loss for the marriage. Because when one person wins, the relationship loses. The goal is not victory. The goal is resolution. It is about finding the truth that lies somewhere between your perspective and hers. Ask yourself this question the next time the tension rises. Am I trying to be right, or am I trying to be together? Your ego will want to be right. Your heart will want to be together. Choose the heart. To master conflict, you must first understand the anatomy of anger. Most of us treat anger like a primary emotion. We think we are just mad. But in reality, anger is almost always a secondary emotion. It is a protective shell. Underneath every burst of anger,
Command, this
there
is
a
Ranger
softer,
Morales.
more
I've got
vulnerable
ice on the
feeling
source,
waiting to
approximately
be
2
seen.
clicks northeast. It's
Think of
escalating
anger like a
fast.
smoke detector. The noise is loud and it is irritating, but the detector is not the fire. It is only a signal that something else is burning. For many men, anger is the only acceptable way to express pain. Society tells us that being sad is weak, but being angry is powerful. So, when we feel neglected, we show anger. When we feel disrespected, we show anger. When we are terrified of losing our family stability, we show anger. As a leader, now your first job is to become a detective of your own heart. The next time you feel that heat rising in your chest, stop. Ask yourself, what am I actually feeling right now? Am I angry, or am I just tired? Am I angry, or am I feeling lonely? Am I angry, or am I afraid that I am failing as a provider? When you can name the true emotion, the anger begins to lose its grip on you. It is much harder to shout at your partner when you realize that what you actually need is a moment of reassurance. But this understanding must also extend to her. When your partner raises her voice or speaks with a sharp edge, do not just react to the noise. Look for the fire underneath the smoke. Is she attacking you? Or is she crying out because she feels invisible? Is she being difficult? Or is she exhausted from carrying the mental load of the home alone? A leader does not just meet fire with fire. That only leads to an explosion. A leader brings water to the flame. He has the strength to stay calm, even when the environment is chaotic. He understands that if he mirrors her anger, the conversation is over. But if he addresses the underlying pain, the healing can begin. Conflict becomes healthy when it moves from the surface level of what happened to the deeper level of how we feel. If you only argue about the dishes, you will be arguing about the dishes for the next 40 years. But if you talk about the feeling of being unsupported, you can solve the problem forever. This requires a radical amount of honesty. It requires you to drop your shield. It is uncomfortable. It is messy. But it is the only way to reach a place of true intimacy. Remember, the man who can control his temper is stronger than the man who can conquer a city.
The most important
Control
things are often whispered,
not about suppression.
not shouted.
It is about
Listen
clarity.
closely to the quiet
It
moments.
is about seeing the truth through the fog of emotion. If conflict is inevitable, then we must learn how to do it with care. A leader does not fight to destroy. He fights to clarify. To do this, you need a set of non-negotiable rules. Think of these as the rules of engagement for your marriage. The first rule is, never use always or never. These words are absolute. They are also lies. When you tell your partner, you always forget the bills, or you never think about my feelings, you are erasing every good thing they have ever done. You are backed into a corner, and so are they. These words trigger an immediate defensive response. Instead, speak to the specific moment. Say, I felt frustrated when the bill was missed this morning. It is small, it is specific, and it is manageable. The second rule is, the timeout is a tool, not a weapon. Sometimes, the emotional flood is too high. Your heart is racing. Your logic has left the building. this state, nothing good can be said. A leader has the self-awareness to say, I am too angry to speak kindly right now. I need 20 minutes to calm down, but I promise we will finish this conversation when I return. Notice the second half of that sentence. A timeout without a promise to return is just abandonment. It leaves your partner hanging in the air. But a planned pause gives both of you a chance to reset your nervous system. The third rule is no kitchen sinking. Stay on the topic at hand. If the argument is about the weekend plans, keep it there. Do not bring up the vacation plans. Do not bring up the way she spent money last month. When you pile on old wounds, the current problem becomes impossible to solve. Now you end up fighting 10 battles at once, and you will lose all of them. The fourth rule is maintain eye contact and physical proximity. It is very hard to dehumanize someone when you are looking into their eyes. It is very hard to be cruel when you are holding their hand. If the conversation is getting heated, sit down. Get on the same level. This lowers the perceived threat in the brain. It reminds both of you that even in disagreement, you are safe with each other. And finally, the most important rule, protect the dignity of your partner. Never mock them. Never roll your eyes. Never use their insecurities against them. You can be angry and still be respectful. The moment you cross the line into disrespect, you have stopped being a leader and you have started being a bully. And a bully can never build a home. In the heat of a conflict, most of us are not listening. We are merely waiting for our turn to speak. We are rehearsing our rebuttal while our partner is still pouring their heart out. The leader knows that the most powerful tool in his possession is not his voice, it is his ears. Listening is an act of love. It is a form of respect that says, your perspective matters more to me than my desire to be right. There is a profound difference between hearing someone and understanding them. To hear is physical, to understand is spiritual. When your partner is speaking, your job is not to fix the problem. Not yet. Your first job is to validate their reality. You don't have to agree with their facts, to acknowledge their feelings. If he says, "Yet I feel like you don't care about my day," do not respond
It's
with a
moments
list
like
of
these,
all the things you
looking
did
at
for
the
her.
sunset with you,
That is a
that I
defensive
treasure
reaction.
the most.
It
Me too,
closes the
my
door.
love.
Instead, try saying, "So, what I'm hearing is that you feel lonely and unsupported right now. Is that right?" This simple technique, called active listening, is like magic. It forces the
That's
anger
when I
to
realized
drop.
it was all gone.
It proves that you are
Oh, no.
present. It
I'm so
proves
sorry.
that you are a safe
here for
harbor.
you.
When a person feels truly heard, their need to shout disappears. The volume of an argument is usually a reflection of how misunderstood someone feels. The louder the voice, the further apart the hearts have become. As the leader, you are the one who must bridge that gap. You must listen for the music behind the words. Is she complaining about the messy house? Or is she singing a song of exhaustion? Or is she complaining about your long hours at work? Or is she singing a song of missing your presence? Do not be a literal man. Be a discerning man. A literal man argues about the facts and loses the relationship.
Just let that sink
A
in. You don't have to do
discerning man
anything right
listens to
now.
the
Just
heart
be still
and saves the home.
and absorb the peace.
Silence, when used correctly, is not a void. It is a space for the truth to emerge. Do not be afraid of the quiet after she finishes speaking. Give her words room to breathe. Do not rush to fill the air with your justifications. Justifications are the death of empathy. You are busy explaining why you are right. You are not busy
Giving
loving
someone
her.
the gift of
Practice
time.
the 5-second rule. After she finishes a sentence, wait 5 seconds before you respond. This small gap prevents you from reacting out of impulse. It allows you to respond out of wisdom. In every conflict, there is a hidden message, a plea for connection, a request for change. If you are talking, you will miss it. But if you are listening, really listening, you will find the key to ending the fight before it even begins. To listen is to give someone the gift of existence. It is saying, I see you, I hear you,
Clearing the debris.
and you are not alone in this. Even if you follow every rule and listen with every ounce of your soul, conflict will still leave marks. In a heated moment, we say things we regret. We let our ego take the wheel, and we drive over the feelings of the person we love. This is where many men fail. They think that once the storm is past, the sun will just come out on its own. But a leader knows that the debris must be cleared. The bridge must be repaired. This requires the most difficult skill of all, the art of a genuine apology. A real apology is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of supreme strength. It is the ultimate act of leadership. Most people don't know how to apologize. They say things like, I'm sorry you feel that way, or I'm sorry, but you started it. These are not apologies, and these are non-apology apologies. They are just another way of shifting the blame. They tell your partner that their feelings are the problem, not their actions. A genuine apology has no but. It has no excuses. It sounds like this. I was wrong. I spoke to you with disrespect, and I am sorry for the pain I caused you. Period. Full stop. A leader takes full ownership of his side of the street. Even if he is only 10% wrong, he owns that 10% completely. He doesn't wait for her to apologize first. He leads the way. He understands that an apology is not about who won the argument. It is about restoring the safety of the home. But a spoken apology is only the first step. The second step is restitution. You must ask, what can I do to make this right? How can I help you feel safe again? And the final, the most important step is changed behavior. An apology without change is just manipulation. If you apologize for your temper every Tuesday, but you never work on your patience, your words will eventually become hollow. They will lose their power to you. True leadership is demonstrated not in the absence of mistakes, but in the courage to admit them and the discipline to correct them. When you apologize sincerely, you are teaching your children how to be human. You are showing them that even the strong man of the house can be humble. You are showing your partner that her heart is more important to you than your pride. This is how you turn a scar into a seal of trust. Conflict might create the crack, but a sincere apology
Move Red 3
is
to
the
checkpoint
gold
Delta.
that fills it in.
Confirmed. Moving blue team
Making
to
the
support
vessel
position.
even more beautiful and more valuable than it was before. In the military, after every mission, there is an after-action review. Soldiers sit down, not to blame each other, but to understand what happened. They ask, what was the goal? What actually happened? And how can we do better next time? As the leader of your family, you should adopt the same mindset. Once the emotions are settled and the apology has been accepted, the work is not over. A healthy conflict is only successful
The city
if it
looks
prevents
beautiful
the
tonight,
same fight
even
from
in the
happening
rain.
It really does.
Most couples fight about
makes
the same
everything
three
feel quiet.
things for 30 years. That is not a relationship. That is a loop. To break the loop, you must have the post-conflict conversation. This should happen when you are both calm. Perhaps the next day, over a walk or a quiet dinner. Approach this moment with curiosity, not judgment. Ask your partner, like when we were arguing yesterday, what was the moment you felt most misunderstood?
All right, hit it again. We need another
then
quarter turn.
Listen.
Copy
Ask,
that.
what could I have done differently
Stand clear.
to make you feel safer in that conversation? And then, listen again. This is where the real growth happens. This is where the art of conflict turns into the science of intimacy. You are gathering data. You are learning the map of a heart. You are finding the landmines that you should avoid stepping on in the future. For example, you might learn that raising your voice reminds her of a painful childhood memory. Now that you know, you have a responsibility to protect her from that trigger. Or she might learn that when she walks away during a fight, it makes you feel abandoned. This shared knowledge is the foundation of a resilient home. A leader does not just survive the storm. When he studies the wind, he adjusts the sails. He ensures that the next time the clouds gather, the crew is ready. Conflict should be a teacher. It should reveal the areas where your communication is weak. It should
Everything is going
highlight
to
the
be
parts
okay,
of
you
your
know that, right?
character
I know,
that still need
especially when you're
refining.
here.
If you are always the same person after a fight, then the fight was a waste of energy. But if you emerge with a deeper understanding of your partner's fears and your own triggers, then that conflict was a sacred investment. It was the price of admission to a higher level of trust. Don't be afraid to admit,
Thank you
I
for
didn't handle
listening,
that well.
child.
Don't be afraid
It
to
means
say,
the world to
I
me.
want us to find a better way to talk about this. When you take the lead in analyzing the conflict, you remove the shame from it. You turn a failure into a lesson. And in a home led by wisdom, there are no failures. There are only opportunities to grow closer. Sometimes, the hardest part of a conflict isn't the shouting. It is the silence that follows. For many couples, this is the Cold War phase. The argument is over, but the walls are still up. You walk past each other in the kitchen without a word. You lie in the same bed, but you feel miles apart. As a letter, you must understand that silence can be just as destructive as a scream. While a timeout is a tool for healing, an extended silence is a weapon of punishment. It is a way of saying, I am withdrawing my love until you earn it back. A strong man does not use silence to punish. He uses his presence to reassure. Leadership means being the first one to break the ice. It means being the one who reaches out, even when your ego tells you to stay cold. It starts with small, intentional acts of reconnection, in a hand on the shoulder, making a cup of coffee without being asked, a simple text message that says, I'm still here and I still love you. You are signaling to your partner that while the conflict was real, the relationship is deeper. You are proving that your commitment is not fragile. It can withstand the heat and it can survive the cold. But there is another kind of silence that a leader must master, the silence of patience. Sometimes your partner needs more time to process than you do. You might be ready to move on while she is still feeling the sting. Do not rush her. Do not demand that she get over it. Leadership is the ability to sit in that uncomfortable space without becoming defensive. It is saying, I am ready to talk whenever you want. Take the time you need. This kind of silence is not a wall. It It is a bridge. It shows that you respect her emotional pace. In these quiet moments, your nonverbal leadership speaks the loudest. Your body language, your calmness, and your consistency are the things that will ultimately bring her back to the table. Remember, the goal of conflict is not just to stop fighting. It is to restore intimacy. And intimacy cannot grow in a frozen heart. You must be the one that thaws the ice. By taking the lead in the silence, you are showing that you value the ice more than you value your own comfort. You are showing that you are a man who can hold the tension without breaking the bond. At the end of the day, conflict is not about who is right. It is about what is right for the future of your home. We often think that love is a feeling, but love is actually a decision. It is a decision to stay at the table, even when you want to walk away. It is a decision to look at the person across from you and see a partner, not an adversary. Healthy conflict is the price of admission to a world of deep intimacy. You cannot have the warmth of the sun without enduring the heat of the fire. As a leader, you are the architect of the atmosphere in your home. If you lead with humility, your partner will feel safe to open up. If you lead with respect, the arguments will turn into breakthroughs. Do not fear the friction. A diamond is only formed under immense pressure. A strong marriage is only built through the honest navigation of difficult truths. Remember, your children are watching. They are not just listening to your words. They are observing how you treat their mother when things are hard. You are teaching them how to handle their own emotions. You are showing them that a man's strength is not measured by the loudness of his voice, but by the vastness of his heart. Let your home be a place where voices are heard, feelings are validated, and souls are healed. Let your conflict be a bridge that leads you to a place of greater understanding and unbreakable trust. Because in the end, the unspoken language of a healthy home is not the absence of struggle. It is the presence of unconditional grace. Thank you for walking this journey with us at the Unspoken Home. This message has helped you see your relationships in a new light. Please give this video a like. It helps us reach more men and more families who are seeking to build a stronger foundation. In the comments below, tell us, what is one rule you will apply to your next disagreement? Let's learn from each other and grow together as a community. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Be the leader your home deserves. Be the peace in the middle of the storm. Until next time, this is the Unspoken Home. Respectfully and always moving forward.